All right. Welcome to College Week. This is our second to last day doing College Week. Yesterday we went to CBU and UCR. Today we have our alumni panel, and then at 4 o'clock we have Riverside City College presenting on the many opportunities they have on their campus. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to sign in. The activity or event is College Week, and this is a WRA event if you are a WIOA school. All right, what's on the menu or what's been on the menu? So we had lots of really cool activities Monday and Tuesday. Like I said, yesterday we were at CBU and UCR, and we got to see some alumni at CBU, which was really exciting for us. We have our alumni panel happening right now. And then at 4, we have Riverside City College. And then tomorrow, a little bit different. So these are what we call like express meetings. All of these will also be WRA events. And what's different about this is that this is going to be happening at 10 a.m. So make sure to come in at 10 and not at 12. Right. And then Zoom link for all the workshops are the same. All right, so we're going to get started. We have 8 fantastic alumni joining us today. One of them is running late just because they're still in class, but they will be joining us a little bit later. We're just so thankful for them hopping on with us. I know a lot of them had to like make their schedules work to be here, so we are thankful for them joining us. And we just want to be mindful of like our time and their time. So if you do have any questions, please drop them in the chat and then we will monitor those as we go. We do want to wrap up the panel questions by 12:45, and then we do want to leave the last 10 minutes for any general questions that you have for the panel. All right, so we're going to get started. We're going to go in the order that you see your name, and then you're going to introduce yourself. What is your name? When did you graduate from college? What college do you attend? And what is your major? So we're going to have Adam kick it out.
Of course. Of course, my name is Adam Sotelo. I graduated from the online program in late June of 2025. I now attend Cal Poly Pomona and I major in hospitality management.
We're going to give it to Bella and Lennon.
Do you want us to go at the back to back?
Yeah, let's have you guys do
Okay.
that.
All right. So my name's Bea. So we both graduated May of 2021. I'm at Sacramento State. I came over here right after I graduated. I'm majoring in biological sciences with a concentration in microbiology, and I'm getting a minor in chemistry. Yeah.
My name's Lennon Duran. I graduated when we graduated OFL back in 2021 in May. I am currently attending Marsh First School of Nursing to get my associate's degree in nursing. Um and yeah, I'm almost done. I'll be graduating in December and hopefully by January next year I'll be a full-time nurse.
Woohoo. All right, Haley.
Hello, everybody. My name is Haley Blackburn. I graduated from the online program in May of 2020. I'm currently a senior at Pathways College and getting my liberal arts degree. And this fall, I will be getting my bachelor's degree from Pathways.
Yay. All right, Hector.
Hello, my name is Hector Lopez Duran. I graduated online program back in spring of 2025. I'm currently attending UNLV and I'm majoring in psychology as a
Thank you. Nicholas, I think you're in here now. Go for it.
Hello, can you hear me all right? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Nicholas.
All right, sorry if it's, oh gosh, it's very echoey. Apologies. Hello, I'm Nicholas Manzuela. I graduated, I'm a freshman at CBU, studying computer science.
Thank you, Nicholas. Sada?
Hi everyone, I'm Sada. I graduated back in May 2022. I was attending Pasadena City College, and then I was able to graduate. Now I got my associates in marketing, and I just have one more class, and I'll be able to get my associates in human resources as well. But yes, that happened. That graduated, and it's been amazing.
Thank you. And then fun fact, she is one of the center coordinators over at the OFY in Pasadena. So yay for that. And then last but not least, Sophia, are you in here? Okay, I think she might still be driving. Sophia is a grad from CSU Channel Islands. And another fun fact about her is that she is currently also working for OFY. She is working in their HR department. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna have each counselor take a question. We have about 7 questions, and then feel free to use the chat. Feel free to use those reaction buttons, and we're gonna go from there. So we're gonna have Casey kick it off with our first question.
Hey guys, I am Casey Furr. I'm one of the counselors. I actually have a question for Adam. Um, I wanted to see when you started college, did you feel like you were prepared? Did you think that you were ready and everything that OFL or OFY gave you was enough to start college? And how's it been going since then?
So obviously transitioning from fully online to in person, big step. Obviously it wasn't like you do a bunch of things. You kind of do, but you get the hang of it really. And it's kind of like baby steps along the way, except the baby steps are a bit higher. Yeah,
Big steps?
yeah,
Did you end up taking classes online at Cal Poly or did you
yeah.
fully go in person? So
Fully go in
transitioning
person.
from, oh wow, okay, so that is a huge step from working online and then 100% going in person.
Mm.
Do you think that you prefer it in person now, or do you wish that you still had online classes?
I like online classes because I like the feeling of waking up 5 minutes early before class and then logging on. With this one, I have to account for like a whole hour or so of like eating and walking and all that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback.
Of course.
Okay, I think I'm next. Hello, everyone. My name is Daisy Ayala. I'm one of the counselors here. And my questions to, I guess, whoever has an answer for it is, have you lived on campus and what was that like?
I can answer that part. I can be part of the people who answers. Yeah, I've lived on campus. I have done like in the dorms with a roommate. I've done in the dorms where we had like it was 4 of us, but we each had our own like what is it, room and shared bathrooms. And now I'm doing off-campus housing that is we all have our own rooms and bathrooms, which is really nice. Um, yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. I do think that there are a lot of pros as well as cons to it. For one, it's like for me, it was my first time away from my family, and so you do get a lot of independence and a lot of growth. And then with that is you have to be very responsible for yourself, and you have to be able to advocate for yourself, which is something that's really important, is setting up boundaries with whoever you're living with. I mean, cohabitation with a total stranger is really hard. So it helps to be a confident person and it helps to be, like have be very respectful, obviously, learn how to talk to people and communicate your needs and your desires. Um, don't be afraid to bring things up as soon as possible because issues do tend to mount and they will like get worse. They'll snowball. I've seen it from a bunch of different roommates. A lot of my friends that I met first year, they had a lot of issues with roommates. And so getting into like good communication skills, building those, developing those, and then knowing the right people to go to is really critical if you're trying to like be really focused on your school. um, I do tend to advise away from getting roommates that are like friends and stuff like that, because I have definitely seen situations where friends will stop being friends due to like not being able to cohabitate. It really is just kind of like a going, I don't know, it's kind of like a day by day thing. You really do build the skills. My roommates now, we don't really interact, but that's kind of how we've all kind of preferred it. But I know roommates who they do like daily dinners. It really is just like, it really is just what is it that you want with the people that you're living with? How, how much is like your community, um, how much like are your roommates a part of like your personal community, and how do you use them as resources? How do you interact with them? It's kind of weird. It's hard, but you'll figure it out.
Thank you for that. Anybody else who wants to kind of share on their experience?
I guess I can speak again. So I live in a two bed not bedroom, two beds, single dorm room. And I'm very lucky that I chose a very nonchalant roommate who is also nonchalant with me. So we're both there's this part where we had a roommate agreements where our resident advisor like got a chair and just like asked us questions on like do how would you feel if your roommate wanted to go to bed at 10 o'clock? How would you what would you do if a roommate needed to wake up early? Every single one of our answers were I don't care. We're cool with each other and we yes, that's what my experience is like living on campus. And it's just been kind of that every day, yeah. Just waking up and the grind.
Awesome, thank you. If anybody else wants to speak on it, go right for it.
Hi everyone. I did join a little bit late, but my name is Sofia Soto, and I graduated from CSU Channel Island. And I have two different kinds of experiences about dorming. I also I lived off campus, but I was able to commute. So and finding roommates is like very interesting. I was lucky enough to have found my roommates from Options for Youth. So we all kind of connected and we were like, okay, we're doing this, we're moving out together, and we did. And like it was really nice because I mean, not everyone has the option to do what we do, which is to be homeschooled. Um, or have a different, way of learning. So it was just really nice to get to experience that together. We were also in pathways. So we just had a lot of that. Um, and then for a little bit, I did live in the dorms. It's a totally different experience. And I did live alone on the dorms, which is a little scary. But regardless, I think both options, see where your finances are, how much you can afford. For sure, have a plan before doing either or. Um, and yeah, I would say like go ahead and see like what you can afford, what would be the smartest thing to do if you want to take out loans, um, things of that sort. So I would for sure go ahead and like kind of look to see what your priorities are, whether it is you want to live alone, whether you want a room, house, all of that. But for sure, for me, the biggest one was finances. So that's kind of like how I kind of made the decision of whether I wanted to dorm or, you know, um, commute from school. But it was like a 15-minute commute, so I would really consider both options as well. Hmm.
Sophia, I have a quick question. If money wasn't an issue, would you prefer to live on campus or off campus and commute? Like which one's fun or which one would you rather do?
Yeah, let's see. So if finances weren't a issue for me, funny enough, I think I would choose to live off campus still because I do think it transitioned me to becoming the adult that I am now. So I think I had to budget my rent, I had to budget my food, I had to budget like my fun things that I had planned, if I could afford clothes for the month, things of that sort. So I think for me, I wouldn't change that. For sure, I will say like they hold your hand a little bit more when you're living on campus. You have a little bit more of that support. So it just really depends again, like what your options are and what you want to do and like what would make you feel more comfortable. But I think for me personally, it helped me be more independent as an adult. And like I was 18 at the time. So transitioning from, high school to college was like, whoa, like I have all this freedom. Now what? So for sure, those two factors, I would for sure factor them in as well. It just depends on the person. If, you like when someone is there with you and holding your hand kind of throughout, people checking up on you, having a roommate, going door to door with each other. Um, for sure, the social life is different as well because like everyone gets to know everyone inside of the dorms. And then whereas like if you're commuting, you kind of have to put in that extra effort. But I wouldn't change it at all. I would for sure still keep commuting and have that independence of what it's like to live alone.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're gonna pass it to Erica now.
Hi guys, I'm Erica. I'm the counselor, and I'm totally like excited. You guys are making me want to go back to college because it was a fun time, and adulting. We're getting ready to become adults, and so I totally understand what Sophia was saying. My question, kind of along the lines, is what was the difficult part for during college? Like, what do you find was so difficult that you might have not been prepared for?
I could answer that because I haven't talked. For me, the most difficult thing was actually waking up early. And I'm not talking about like, oh, 9, 8. No, I'm talking about 7, sometimes 6 in the morning. And also the sleepless nights that when you're trying to cram an assignment. So waking up early and scheduling is probably some of the most difficult things because online, again, as Adam said, wake up 5 minutes before class. You don't have to worry about how you look or everything. But here in uni, at least you want to look a little bit presentable, right? You don't want to come here like with like bed hair. You don't want to come with like slobber all over your face and everything like that from like how good you slept last night. So I think that's probably one of the most difficult things. Also finances. Finances. 5K per semester just for tuition.
Our current OFI students, we don't like slobber on faces either. So if you guys have watched before we meet, that would be great. Anybody else has a difficult or find something difficult that you kind of weren't prepared about? Bella?
So for me, the most difficult thing that I had to deal with when it comes to college was the workload. Um, I'm currently in an accelerated program for nursing, so everything's very condensed and very intense. I'm have to deal with 4-hour lectures, maybe 2, 3 times a day, depending on which part of my semester I'm in. And then we also have to go to do clinicals at the hospital, which usually tend to be about 12 hours there and from right in the morning all the way to the late afternoon. And on top of that, for example, I work, so if you have to work too, it's a lot of going back and forth between work, school, and then having to dedicate those extra study hours to actually be able to pass the exams.
Good point. Thank you. Nicholas?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Bella. No, Bella, please.
no, sorry. No, yeah, I was gonna like add with that. It's just time management. I feel like so I work on campus. I'm like I do a tutoring thing, and so I get to teach a class. And I used to do mostly freshmen. This semester, I'm teaching more upper division biology students. I used to do an intro chemistry course, so I dealt with a lot of students that were just fresh out of high school. And I feel like one of the biggest things that they're not ready for is their time management skills. And I know that was 100% a part of my journey. And it's something that you really do build. When I came into university, I only had two classes in person. I think I had like one or two online. So it was a little bit easy to transition. We both entered, I think, our schools like right after the pandemic restrictions started lifting. So it was a little bit weird. Um, and so the workload went from being rather light to just steadily picking up. At this point in my college career, I teach, and that takes about 8 hours of my life out of the week. I'm a full-time student. I'm taking like I think 16 or so units. On top of that, I do research and I TA for a class. So
the time management skills has been a massive, massive part of like what it has been to be successful. Um, I'm taking a lot of like really intensive upper division biology courses, and we have labs that are, 6 or 9 hours a week. And so it's so hard to find the time. And then um, we're engaged, and so it's really hard to find time for each other. And we like my family and I were still really close, and so we trying to find the time to like keep those connections is really, really hard. It's really rewarding. I'm very proud of where I'm at now. I don't think I was at all ready when I entered college. But it's a work in progress. You do develop incredible skills. I think if you put your mind to it. Um, I don't know. This is worth it. We're working really hard, and we're excited to see where the future goes. And so students should be aware that they're going to be overwhelmed. And when they do reach that point, I see it in my students all the time. It's like I always joke with them. It's like the light's gonna leave your eyes a little bit, but afterwards, that's when I think you become the best version of yourself, because like you really do grow. It's like who you were as a like high school student. That's not you anymore. And so they go through a metamorphosis and they grow, and it's super rewarding. And I think you do that multiple times throughout your college career. It's fun.
I love that too. Nicholas, I know you also wanted to talk.
Yes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about how echoey it is in here. I got this room like last second. Something I find difficult, man, that's awful. Something I find difficult, I agree with what was said earlier. The workload can get intense, but something that's hard in the first week or so of college is trying to find everything because you're there for not a lot of time, or at least for me anyway, and it can be hard to acquaint yourself with the layouts. Luckily for me, I'm very good at navigating, so I found my way around pretty quickly.
Yes, some schools are very big. I know we have like a mixture of small colleges and large colleges. So yes, that is also kind of knowing your your north south is very helpful as well. Anybody else? Anything else difficult?
I can add to that as well. I think something that I wasn't prepared for sure, adding on to all the great points that I heard, was for sure being homesick. Um, Remembering why I'm out here, remembering the why as to why I'm in college, the things that motivate me, the things that bring light into my eyes. Um, I was by myself, and that was like the first time ever in my life that I was alone without my family. And so for me, reminding myself, like, I'm here for a better life. I'm here um to study and do better and do more for myself. And like, yeah, it was hard, like, you know, eating ramen packs every day, all that stuff. Like, it just, I miss my mom's cooking. Like, I had to come home, I still had to cook, I still had to do all these things for myself. But for sure it was like being homesick and just, those are the things that, like, I don't think I was prepared for. You just become really homesick, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I mean, I do want to make you guys aware to, for you guys to be prepared and just, keep that in mind, and just always ask, like, remind yourself that your why as to why you're doing this. Um, and yeah, I would say that for me, that was like the really toughest one for sure, because I'm very close to my mom.
Oh, well, I'm glad I know for all of you guys, I know your parents are very proud of you guys as your teachers that are here seeing you guys as well. I think if no one else has anything else, I think Miss Jocelyn has
Yes.
something.
Thank you, Erica. Hello, everyone. My name is Jocelyn. I'm one of the counselors here at OP. So my question is, how did you choose your major and your college campus?
I'll take this question. Um, so I kind of decided to venture out a little bit when it came to deciding a college, and ended up going to a total of six of them to kind of figure it out. It took me a really long time to kind of find home college. And so luckily I came across Pathways College. But over the span of about 4 years-ish, um, I went to five colleges in between in the last 4 years. And every college I went to, I switched up my major because I thought I wanted to do one thing and ended up changing my mind a lot. But that was kind of comforting in a little bit of a way because I felt like I had no time to figure out my life, and it was a lot of pressure. Like it was really hard trying to find the right fit for me and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I struggled a little bit with that, but um, I would say that it. I think I'm trying to think. Sorry. Um, my major, I kind of decided on liberal arts because I want to become a teacher one day, and I felt like it was a really good program to go into that kind of offered me a lot of flexibility in a sense. So I kind of just looked for affordable colleges that were in my budget and also offered some flexibility when it came to the program itself. It did take a long time to get here, but remembering that you do have time and you don't have to have everything figured out right away. Like the second you graduate high school, you don't have to be like, okay, I need to do this every day for the next 4 years. It's really helpful to remind yourself that, and I wish I would have told myself that years ago. But it's a really fun journey to kind of explore, and it's okay if, you go to a college and it ends up maybe not working out. There's so many good colleges out there, and yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And yeah, that's true. It's kind of hard to figure out right away, especially when you're so young, you're going out into the world. So people do, change their major, and that's completely okay. I'd rather have someone change their major than finishing up with a bachelor's and they don't want nothing to do with that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, Nicholas?
Hi. Something that went to me choosing my major. My major is computer science, and something I've always loved as growing up was video games, and I wanted to be part of making them to bring not only bring joy to myself by making them, but by bringing joy to others with the finished product. And something that went into picking a camp is that I wanted to pick something close to home, obviously. Otherwise, my parents wouldn't let me go. um, and luckily, CBU was so kind to award me with a Dean Scholarship. And so I went with CBU because, who could refuse free money? Am I right?
Yeah, okay. That's a good choice. Thank you for sharing. Bea and Lennon?
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, I think it's picking out the majors, like kind of the awkward part, honestly. I when I my you know, I have my sister who's entering college now, and like I work with first years like a lot. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to this. They all tend to have some kind of a crisis very early on about what it is that they want to do with their life. Super duper common. I think my best advice to anybody is figure out like your values in life and how like what is important to you in your contribution to society. Like I thought it was awesome that Nicholas had said that like he wanted to bring joy to people. And like for me, my motivation in STEM is like I like discover I love being in a lab, and I love it's just like my contribution to science and my contribution into society is very much like behind a bench. It's very investigational. I like the idea that what I do with my major and my future career is going to be very much catered towards people's health, but I can't see myself on the other side. And I know, like for Lennon, it's like he does like the bedside part. I like to be behind the bench. It's where I find comfort. It's amazing to me. I like the small things. Some people like to be more interactive, more face to face. Some people like to put out things into the world that spark joy. Some people like to put out things into the world that are, helpful, that are healing. Just kind of try to find something where you can see an interest, um, and that also gives you a little bit of flexibility. If you're doing a super specific career, I would say that's more of an issue for post education. Like for me right now, with a bachelor's, I could go industry or PhD, but then I'm like looking into PhD programs now. I'm going to be applying next fall. And so that's when it starts to become much more narrow. So as you further your education, that's where that specificity really, really hits. So just be open to different fields and find what it is that you really like in life. Like if you really love helping people, try to find some kind of sector with your interest and helping people. But like take advantage of your GEs. I know they're annoying. I hate them too. But I felt like I really learned a lot from them. I always tried to find GEs that catered to my interests. So like maybe it was an English class, but it was an English class that had to do with, I don't know, I took like a medical one, and that made it so much more fun for me. So yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Lennon, did you want to share?
Yeah, so funny enough, I decided that I wanted to work with people after I worked at McDonald's. I really enjoyed the whole customer service aspect because I just thought it was fun having to help people out and working with that. So afterwards, once I graduated OFL, I became an EMT. I worked in that for about a year. And after that, I became a dialysis technician. And that's when I really came to really like the bedside aspect of medical care. And I kind of was seeing that I could do more for my patients, so I decided, well, next logical step would be to become a nurse and hopefully, add more of my experience to it and help out my patients in a more meaningful way.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and we have one more, Hector.
Yeah, honestly, I would look if you're trying to see what you want to do, like do research on your or on like your future job. Because for me, I wanted to be back in like freshman year of high school. I wanted to be a graphic designer, right? I looked online, and well, sometimes they do pay really well. I think that at that time the highest was like 75,000 per year. The lowest, which would be entry level, you're going to be starting off in that. It's 25,000 entry level, and 25,000 in this economy, it doesn't pay well. So search up like how much your career pays and how much schooling you have to do. Because for me, I'm doing my bachelor's in psychology first, but then afterwards, I'm going to be applying to grad school once I think I'm in my junior year, roughly. I'm gonna start applying, and then potentially in like the far future, I will apply for my PhD because I do want to be a professor in psychology, like years in the future. So look up how much school you need to do for your job and look up how much it pays because you do not want to be in debt while being a starving artist, being completely honest, and look at the prospects for the future in that career.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for sharing. You guys all brought in different ideas and different thoughts, so that was very helpful. And then I'll pass it over to Josie.
Hi, everyone. This is Miss Jimenez speaking. And my question is, what has been your favorite part about college? And that's open to the panel. Hector.
Okay, coming back again. Okay, so one of my favorite parts of college is just meeting people that I click with and going to events with them, or just like going around campus, just like going to different places on campus, like for example, the SU, going out to eat there, going to the library, going to the rec center, which I do recommend. If you guys have access to the rec center, it's not just about exercise. There's a lot of other stuff too. For example, my rec center has counseling there and even has a their clinic, I think dental clinic too, pharmacy, all that stuff. Just research what your future university has. For example, yesterday we had homecoming and it was like a homecoming parade here at UNLV. But one of my friends was like, "Hey, we should walk to Target." Now, why would we walk 19 minutes to Target? Just because we can, really. Like here, you have the liberty like to do whatever you want, but also just remember to do your schoolwork beforehand. Don't be like me where you're leaving stuff at the last second. But we don't talk about that.
Thank you, Hector.
Oh, also, I
What?
forgot
What
to.
happened? Go.
Allison did ask, um, how has the weather in Vegas been? Honestly, in summer it was hot, hundreds, 100. I think 100, like 510 sometimes. But now it's like in the 90s to 80s, which is really good, and it's going even lower. I can't wait for the winter. I can't wait.
Thank you, Hector. And I'm glad you enjoyed that little trip over to Target. I was thinking you were going to tell me that the homecoming parade started over there or something like that, but
Oh no, no, no! It started in front of the SU building, the student
okay.
union, and it went from like 5 to 10, but I stayed
Okay.
until like 9.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, next is Nicholas and then Sophia. Nicholas, go ahead.
So definitely something I enjoyed about being in college is just being part of a physical campus again. Of course, in online you're a lot more comfortable, but it could also be a bit isolating at times. So getting to just roam around the big campus, doing what you want in between classes is just a fun time. Plus all the different buildings that you could explore, so to speak. Like recently, I did some exploring in the library. That was fun. Looking around, snooping around places. Having different places to eat is also great, for someone who gets bored of food easily, such as myself. And the social events are fun too. Recently, we had a barn dance. That was fun to attend, despite the times I got my feet stepped on. Um, but overall, it's been very fun over here.
Very happy to know that. How about you, Sophia?
I would say what I love the most about college, for sure the education part. But more than anything, I think I took that opportunity to really get to know who I am as a human being and what I wanted to do with my life. I really focused on my own self-growth, who I want to be, what I want to be. Because, at least for me, I just forgot I have free will. So I'm like, hold on, I have a whole entire life to live. And I was focusing on school, yes. I've always been about my studies, but more than anything, I had to take the time to slow down and really ask myself, like, if this is fulfilling to me. Going back to like the whole major thing, I was undeclared for a really long time. So I was just trying to figure it all out. And I sat with myself, made a pros and cons list of what I wanted. But for me, more than anything, that was like the thing I loved most about college was that I really do think I found on this earth and what I wanted to do. So I took it more as like a time to who am I without my family, without, my background. Because I'm also afraid it really made me and yeah, it just really gave me the space to find out who I was as a person. Oh, sorry about that. The dogs are going crazy. But yeah, that I would say that was my highlight of college.
Thank you for sharing. So I'll pass this over to Kathleen, and Kathleen also has.
Yeah, so for anybody who is interested in answering this, I know we talked a little bit about what your favorite parts are, and we heard a lot about like freedom and exploration. And then some of you mentioned some of the events, but are there any events you've attended or maybe clubs or organizations that you participated in that you found to be really fun or interesting? Saw a lot of hands go up. Hector, I saw yours go up first. Tell me, Hector.
Okay, so I went to I think it was the first week that classes started. There was this kickoff event called UNLV Premiere, where it's from 7 to 10. and there's like live music, like kind of like a rave. There's free food, and I think around like eight or eight, no, it's around eight, where you get on the lawn and each of the like freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors, they form the UNLV letters. And so for freshmen, we are the U. And funny thing was that all the freshmen were cheering, like saying that they were like saying that, meanwhile the seniors were silent. It just goes to show like how university like sucks out your life. It's a joke, by the way.
That's
um,
That's amazing.
I
And
yeah,
never underestimate events with free food on college campuses, especially those
exactly.
big kickoff events with like all of the students there. It's such a good vibe. What else did you do?
100%. There was also career fairs, there's club and involvement fairs too, which not only do you get free food, but you also like get to explore some stuff that you would have not known. Along with that, the homecoming parade too. Um, oh, also at the homecoming parade and at UNLV premiere, there was rides. There was like carnival rides, which I'm not gonna lie, look kind of standard. Do I recommend it? Not on a full stomach. Of course.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Awesome, Hector. Thank you. Anybody else? Like events or organizations? Nicholas?
Yes, so to go on with what Hector was saying, there's a lot of career events, stuff like that. But to go with to go with something else that was said, before the classes officially start, there's this big welcome weekend, basically where all the CBE students gather around, learn information, hang out. Um, Also with free food, who can complain about that? Um, And as I mentioned, there's the barn dance, also various clubs. I'm actually part of a club right now, the Game Design Club, for anyone who's interested in game design. Um, but there's also, it's part of a bigger organization, AM's ACM, for computer science majors in general, where they go on to compete in various AM's computer science related fields.
That's amazing to be able to do something that's kind of career related and something that's a passion and a hobby as well. Just as a follow up to this question, is there for freshman year, because I know there's a lot going on, you're learning a lot about what it's like to live on college, live independently, get to college classes. Are there any events that you would say you must go to this your freshman year? Or what would you talk about as far as how to get involved in these organizations or clubs? Yeah, Hector.
Okay, so um go to like anything that has to do with involvement, like career, involvement fairs, all that stuff. But also, most universities they have a like welcome week, like before the actual week starts. For us, it's like Rebel Week. And so all the freshmen go on campus and they have a whole bunch of seminars, they have a whole bunch of like events that you can take part of, and free stuff too. I got a little bamboo plant. I forgot what his name was, but he's chilling in my living room right now. Uh, there's also they extended to like later on in the day too. For example, we watched a Minecraft movie for free with like a whole bunch of different types of food, and then the next day it was UNLV. I forgot
Amazing.
what it was on Friday, but and also take it if you want, if you're into sports, take advantage of if your university offers free like sports tickets, because for us, since I think most of our home games are at the Legion Stadium, we get free tickets as UNLV students.
Amazing. So sports games, they also have intramural sports. Make sure you go to College Week and look out for that free food. I'm going to pass it along to
Yes.
Kim for our final question.
Hi, everyone. Okay, I have a good one here. What advice would you give to current OFL and OFY students who are preparing for college?
Okay, I have a number one thing. You might hear your staff and teachers saying, like, but guys, please don't get comfortable now using AI, because if you use AI in college, they don't mess around with that as much as they do right now in OFY. Because there's so many times where professors like passive aggressively talk about like how it's not good, and they test they make sure that they know they make sure that you know that they will know when you use it, and it's not like good. Why are you there in the first place if you're just using that? And just yeah. If you definitely need the help, they're there. Same reason why OFI is there to help you. So that's my number one thing because even people still this day are still doing.
Love that. Love that. Okay, and Sarah, love to hear from you.
I feel like when I was still in high school, I had a lot of pressure from like family and parents that were trying to like ask me where are you gonna go and like what's gonna be your major, what are you gonna do after college? Like it was so much pressure from everyone. So definitely try to keep in mind that whatever you choose is gonna be for you, not to please anybody else. And also like yes, you're going to college, but that doesn't mean that you have to choose an actual major before going there. Like you can just go and take your GEs and just figure out if there's something that you like. I took marketing, I got my degree in marketing, and now I'm going for HR. And I thought that that was going to be like, oh, I love it. And I do love it. But now working for Options for Youth as the center coordinator, like there is this one spark that just started lighting up on me. And I figured out that what I really love and what makes me happy is to work with the students. So just keep that in mind. Like you don't always have to choose before going to college.
Thanks, Sarah. All right, I'm gonna give it to Haley, and then we are gonna take questions from students. So go ahead, Haley.
My advice to you guys is to ask questions. I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking when you're in class and you need clarification on something, but that's something that I was always scared of is like speaking up for myself and using my voice and asking for help. And just because you go from being in high school to college, just try to remember that you still have support, even though you are, you are more independent, but just ask lots of questions, ask for help, ask for clarification, and just make sure that you're putting your education first. And it's really important. It's going to benefit you in the end, even if you don't see the vision right now. It's really important that you remain focusing on yourself and surround yourself with good people and good environments for you.
Yes, agreed. Thank you. All right, we're going to open it up for questions. So you can put your questions in the chat. What questions do you have for our amazing alumni panel? We have so many different colleges represented, grades here, lots of different experiences, which is great.
Remember, we all were you guys like months ago, so we're not that scary. I promise.
Exactly. Like we have our own struggles too. Don't worry.
I still
Like,
think I am an OFI student, and I realize, oh yeah, I'm a college student. I'm not in high school anymore.
same.
All right, Allison wants to know which campus has the best food.
Okay. CBU has Chick-fil-A. So for anyone who loves Chick-fil-A, boom, we win. But also, we also have an all-you-can-eat cafeteria, as well as some other various restaurants. Like we have a Chipotle ripoff. That's nice. Um, and I believe we have a place called Fireside and Briscoe's. For anyone who doesn't know what Briscoe's is, um, it's basically rip off Subway, but I heard it's Subway but better. So anyone who wants a wide variety of food, as far as I know, CPU's got it.
All right, Hector.
Okay, so on campus, I'm counting this like on campus, like you walk to the SU or you walk to someplace else. So we have Soho, which is sushi. We have a halal snack shack. We have Qdoba. We have Panda Express. We have Chicken Guy, which is just like chicken. We have Panera, we have a Starbucks Coffee Bean. We also have our own coffee shop, which is really good. They don't charge tax whatsoever. I don't know if I mentioned this already, Panera. They also have a Jamba Juice too. Kind of like outside of campus, you just literally across the street. We have In-N-Out, we have 7-Eleven, we have a pizza place which smells so bomb. We also have a Target up front, which you can like buy your food if like you are staying at the dorms. Let me see. What other places do we have? I think that's we have technically it's like a little off campus. But it's just like you like walk a couple of minutes. It's a McDonald's and a few other places. Oh, and the Popeyes.
All right. Lots of options. Go ahead, Sophia, and then we'll take Andre's question.
Oh, question for me?
I
Okay.
was
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
say, so I went to CSU Channel Island, and the cool thing about them, I was gonna add, is that they have a cafeteria like on campus. But the really cool part that I feel like a lot of people should utilize, because again, for me, it was more the finance part of college. Um, they do have a dolphin pantry as one of the things that you can do, and it's completely free. In case like you're struggling, to feed yourself. They give you like little tickets to go into the cafeteria and be able to get food, basically. That way it doesn't come out of your pocket. It's just like an extra resource that CSU Channel Island has for students that, can't afford food, and that's a real thing. Um, and so I just wanted to throw that out there in case that's something that, um, any student is going through, or because for me, I utilize that all the time when I was living on campus. The food is really good. It's not like Chick-fil-A good, but I'm like, it's not Chick-fil-A good, but I mean, it'll get your belly full, and that's the priority here. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and eating right. They have all kinds of options, but more than anything, it's those free tickets that they'll give you, and you're able to go ahead and eat food on the campus. And yeah.
Yeah, that's an important resource. So thanks for mentioning that, Sophia. Okay, we do have a question specific for Hector. As an at your UNLV school, were you considered in-state or out-of-state? And this student was wondering about, pricing as being maybe an out-of-state student, and insight into that, and possibly looking into scholarships if you have any advice.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this. I counted as a Nevada resident because I've been living here since 2022. Fun fact. And I was under the taxes of my mom. I was counted out of state, and I think tuition in total was 44,000. That's with living expenses, tuition, uh, transportation, all that stuff. I will say this. Try to see if you can apply for in-state residency if you're going to UNLV, because you did say that your dad lives here in Las Vegas, correct? Um, so look into that. If it doesn't work, they deny your application, try to ask the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships for any sort of scholarship that is available at UNLV. Um, do the institutional aid that UNLV offers along with the FAFSA, and look at scholarships at anywhere like niche, scholarship owl. I think that's one, and all those stuff. Look at it immediately.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like we have one more question for Haley. The question is, what kind of teacher are you trying to become with your major, and how is the workload for it?
Good question. I want to be a high school English teacher, and actually coming back to the online program and hopefully teach one day soon. So since I am majoring in liberal arts, I have realized it kind of does offer me that little bit of flexibility. I also think that the workload isn't as bad as I thought it would be right now. In the past year, I've been a senior for almost a year now, and over at Pathways College where I'm at right now, it is pretty small workloads. But I do know that once I go for my master's degree, I'll be starting my program around January. The workload is probably going to be a lot bigger than that. So I'm curious, myself too, how the workload will be. But I also believe that if you are really passionate about becoming a teacher and that's what you want to do, it also makes it easier because you are going to be able to do what you love once you're done.
Thank you. Okay, so we do have to wrap up. It's 12:58. We want to be mindful of our alumni's time, our other regular students' time, because a lot of you do have to go back to DI. But something that Hector kind of reminded me of, he mentioned a lot of resources. He mentioned like the financial aid. We talked, like Sophia mentioned, finances. Like we know that this is a big looming thing for our students, where it's like, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to go about it? And then just something that I tell my students when we're doing the application process is just like, go for it. We won't know what that's going to look like until you get accepted and you get your financial aid letter. And even then, when you get that financial aid letter, I always say that is your first offer. I'm kind of sometimes a little bit of a persistent person where I'm like, maybe we can figure out different ways. And you will do that with your financial aid office. The worst thing that's going to happen is you ask for more money and they say no, and then you kind of move on to the next step. So that is that resiliency part of things. I think Sophia also mentioned like hand holding. We are here to support you. We have a big counseling team now. So if you're ever feeling like lost in the sauce, you don't know what the next step is, reach out to your counselor. We are happy to support you and walk you through the steps. Bea also mentioned that AI is out there. AI could be your new counselor, but they don't know everything. I mean, we don't know everything either, but we know things in a different way that AI doesn't yet. So please reach out. We're here to help you. For any of our current seniors on the call right now, this could be you next year. We do these chats every single year and they're very popular. So if you're feeling up for it, let us know if you're interested and then we'll invite you next school year. I want to say thank you to everyone and thank you for us concluding this workshop on time. It is 1 o'clock. Have a great rest of your day and then we'll see our students at 4 o'clock for Riverside City College. Thank you, everyone.
Before everyone goes,
Bye.
come on, hold on. Just a quote from a teacher, Miss Sarah. You are loved in this world, and thank you for being here today.
Oh, I
Yes.
Y'all
remember
can go.
that.
Yeah,
For
live by
Nice,
that.
that.
Hector.
Live
Well
by that.
done.
We will let her know.
Thank
Okay,
She's
you,
gonna be so
everyone.
bye.
proud.
Bye.
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 Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Don't use AI. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
Haley.
Don't use AI.
Bye, guys.
Do your FAFSA.
Yes.
These are all great advice. We need to hire all of them.